So you do, bitch. You do.
Right about now, you're probably asking, Shams, what is this blurred out clip? What are we looking at right now? Well, if you couldn't guess from the context clues on screen, that was two couples having sex in a car. Okay, I don't know if it'd be completely accurate to call them a couple. They might be complete strangers that just met a couple hours before. But to just explain the clip, we got one couple doing it in the front and then another couple doing it in the back of the car. In a fishbowl, completely see-through, in a very busy street with cars crossing, people crossing, no shame at all. I'm sorry, but I don't think you should ever be this comfortable with your friends to the point where you're smashing in the same car. Private parts out, pheromones mixing, smelling like bodily fluids getting everywhere. That is devious work. And you know, at least these people didn't record themselves and it was some strangers who recorded them and posted it online. But sadly, I can't say the same for them. First night in Houston. Bro's laid up with his first baddie. First day in Houston. First day in Houston. Let's see what the comments are saying real quick. Ooh, he got my old eater. I know it was good. Not only do we have men and women kissing and telling and having no shame that they're getting cracked, that they're cracking people on the first night or first day, we also got people leaving reviews like it's Yelp or something. Now, I did do some further investigation into this video and it turns out that that girl was actually, I think, his girlfriend. But even then, why would you want your girlfriend to be shown in that type of light? With just that one video, which is right now sitting at millions of views, he painted his girlfriend out to look like a hoe. And trust me, the way the internet works, out of those millions of people, only a couple of them are actually gonna look deeper into it and find out that she's his girlfriend. Most people are gonna see what they saw and take off running with it like it's the truth. After the amount of views that that video got, I wouldn't be surprised if people just came up to her randomly and started referencing that video. But you know what? For the people who were moving fast, who were having reckless sex, I wonder how things are gonna turn out for them. Wait, this is the internet. I don't have to wonder. It's already up. And look, I hate to be the person to kick someone when they're already down, but actions have consequences. And this isn't even the worst of these cases. There's a guy whose picture's going around the internet who apparently caught every single STD at Houston spring break. Now, this obviously looks like some AI scare tactic to get people to kind of slow down a bit. And I genuinely hope that as many people as possible do end up believing this story. And hopefully they start changing their sexual habits and practice abstinence. And if we're fortunate, maybe even celibacy, because I definitely want to see more people get married this generation. And look, even though the guy catching every STD was probably some AI made up story, stuff like people catching multiple STDs, even HIV after one sexual encounter definitely happens. Brief intermission, y'all. I'm here with an opportunity for y'all to make money doing something you probably already do. Play games on your phone. And look, I already see it now. Someone's gonna be in the comments talking about I'm trying to swindle you guys, I'm trying to finesse, but I promise I would never try to finesse my supporters. You guys are not the method. But if you try to make some bread, trying to make some moolah, trying to make some of that money, you can use my QR code to sign up for this program called Tester Up. Tester Up is a program that helps people make money by testing apps and playing games. So instead of doom scrolling for hours, you can make a couple $100 by testing apps, playing games, and completing fun tasks. This platform is strictly mobile, so that means you have to use it on your phone, but that just means you can use it anywhere on the go. Signing up is easy. Just create an account with your email or phone number, then look through the available tasks and pick one you like, and then simply follow the instructions they provide. And these aren't rocket science or anything. They're usually stuff like downloading the game and playing it. Now look, this isn't gonna get you rich or anything, but it's a way to turn your downtime into a side hustle without you even noticing. And when you guys try to make some money, go ahead and DM me a screenshot of how much you made on Instagram and I'll go ahead and feature you on my video. So again, for anyone who's interested, scan the QR code on screen or hit the link in the description to download Tester Up and make some money on today.
Back in October of 2020, I was diagnosed with HIV, syphilis, herpes, trichomoniasis, and chlamydia. So of course we was talking for 2 months before we decided to end up and get a hotel together for 4 days. And of course we messed around an exuberant amount of times. So on the last day of checkout, he decided to leave early. I didn't think nothing of it. So like a little over a month, you guys, I had symptoms. I had dark spots from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, as well as bumps from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I had sores in certain areas of my body. I had blotches and bumps on the inside of my mouth. My tongue was swollen. My tonsils were swollen. My glands were swollen. I had open sores on my hand where you could see the white meat in my hands. My navel was very scabby and it had like a slimy feel to it, and it had a discharge itself. My private part was swollen. I had greenish and reddish looking sores around my area that looked like they were boiling and pussy. I had a discharge that smelled like a seafood boil sitting in a trash can for over a week. And I had bumps in the front and back of my area.
Mind you, these people spent 2 months getting to know each other. They were talking for 2 months, and he still ended up catching multiple STDs. Now imagine the type of risk that you're taking with these one night stands. These people who you might not ever see again in your life. You don't know a lick of their background. You don't know if they're telling you the truth. They could make up a whole new identity, and you're just giving them access to the most sacred part of your body. Honestly, this whole Houston spring break thing never made sense to begin with. Because you got these 20, 30, even 40-year-olds flying out to Houston. Out of all the other locations with beautiful beaches and natural sights, they picked Houston. Now sure, some people may have had the excuse of going to the Houston rodeo, but even that had its own scandal with people not knowing how to dress properly in a place where there were kids present. They literally had to put a dress code in place because people were wilding. But back to the topic though, we got these college students in their 20s who are flying out to Houston, probably pinching together their last pennies to try to make that trip and be able to afford the Airbnb. And side note, there's probably some friendships that didn't survive Houston spring break. Because you know, there's always the friend who barely scraped by to make the trip, and then the friend who's financially literate, financially responsible. And once the friend group finds out who that is, they expect them to pay for a bunch of things, and that usually leads to a fallout. It's the same reason a lot of friend groups don't survive Miami. But yeah, so we got the college students in their 20s who are actually on spring break, and then we got the people who are pushing 30 or are already 30, who are using their financial position and the fact that they're further along in life to basically flex on the younger people and compete with people who are just starting off in life. And these cornballs are calling themselves the Houston final bosses.
That's what it is, bro. No way you can hate on this shit, nigga. Everybody trying to come to Houston. Everybody keep making these TikTok videos about coming to Houston, this and the third, trying to get up with these bitches and shit like that and try to have fun with these hoes. The main thing y'all leaving out is the people who live in fucking Houston that you're gonna have to run into. We are the fucking final bosses. If we're outside, kiss your bitch goodbye, nigga. Hey, kiss her goodbye. This shit is already solidified for us on this motherfucker.
Competing with college boys in their teens and early 20s at your prehistoric age is insane. At what point do people start thinking about settling down and starting a family? I swear it feels like recently for people to settle down, they have to unintentionally get someone pregnant. And look, I'm wondering this, and you're probably wondering this too. Where are these people's parents? Because there's no way these parents are letting their kids wild out in Houston like this, right? And you see, that's what I'd hoped would be the case. But when we got people who look like they could be parents themselves talking like this, I'm starting to think otherwise.
What's the craziest thing you've done on spring break?
Suck on the airplane, period.
Like in the bathroom or like?
Nope, right in the seats. Cause I'm a Pisces. He kept calling. I said, hey, that was a one-time thing.
Oh, you didn't know him?
Pisces says no.
And you know what makes this situation that much more crazier? People are actually struggling. You know, if people went over there and were having a jolly old time, I'd probably mind my business and not even make this video. No, actually, I probably still would have made this video. Okay, but seriously though, I saw way too many people crowded at gas stations, standing on random streets, literally looking stranded, looking dilapidated, people standing outside of these clubs that were asking egregious prices. And the thing is, I can't even blame these clubs because there was such an influx of people that they probably had to raise the prices.
So they said they not letting nobody else in, and they over here still trying to charge people $200 to $600 to get in here. Yo, look at the fucking line, y'all. Like, this shit is fucking crazy as fuck. Pink House, Houston.
When there's such a high demand, prices have to go up because buildings have capacity. And on top of the outrageous prices for sections and bottles, I'm talking thousands of dollars. Apparently some clubs were also scamming people.
We sold our event on sections, not those tickets. Those are not our tickets. I don't know, man. I'm only handling my shit. Nobody booked sections through Eventbrite through us. You're right, bro. They booked Bible Girls, not Eventbrite. How you gonna tell me how to run that?
People were paying thousands of dollars to reserve a section online, and then when they show up to the club owners were claiming that the reservation was never made or was non-existent. And get this, there were people who still went ahead and paid.
I got scammed out of $20,000 this weekend at a Houston club. So we booked a section for like Saturday. It's $4,000 for the section, and it comes with 2 bottles. So we get to the door, and we're like, I'm showing them my text messages on my phone and my deposit and all that type of stuff. And they were like, well, Alicia quit. Alicia quit yesterday. I was like, I've been talking to her today. We already just texted her and told her we're on the way. And she was like, cool. And I said that. I showed them that. And they were like, well, she stopped working yesterday. So they say, only thing we can do is try to get you another section, and you're going to have to pay an additional $4,000. I paid it. I didn't want to fight with those people at the door. I didn't want to make us look like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to make us look crazy. It's a group of us. We just got out of the black truck. The paparazzi guy we booked, he just started taking pictures, and it's looking like a moment. And now you're telling me that in this moment, I don't have a section that I paid $4,000 for, and I need to pay another $4,000. I was like, cool. So I paid the other $4,000 because I know we would try to get that stuff back from the manager or whatnot. And I have all the receipts. So we get in the club, an hour and 30 minutes go by. They're telling us that our time is up, and they sold the section again. Stay tuned for part 2.
There's no reason you should be this eager, this pressed to get into a club, to get into a section, just for you to stand on top of the chairs, pay for some overpriced bottles, and mean mug everyone else in the building. Because let's be honest, when people get sections nowadays, that's what they do. Nobody's going to a dance floor, talking to other people, getting to know people. It's just a big flex fest. People having bottle wars, flexing their shiny jewelry, and missing the most important part of the club, which I thought was supposed to be having fun, getting to know people, dancing. Yeah, all that goes out the window. And you know what? At the end of the day, all this nonsense about getting into clubs being overpriced, people not enjoying the trip, in the bigger scheme of things, all that stuff doesn't matter. You could literally just chalk it up to a bad experience and eventually you forget about it. But the real issue is we have people who made decisions that have permanent effects. People who went and had reckless, unprotected sex with strangers whose sexual history they know nothing about. And what's even scarier is a lot of people don't even know how to take care of their sexual health. A lot of these people are gonna go back to their hometowns and maybe the next day or that same week they're gonna get tested. Their tests are gonna come back negative, saying that they don't have any STD. They're gonna proudly showcase this negative result, but whole time they don't even know that there's a time period that you have to wait before those things even show up on your test results. So now there's people who might go months or years without ever getting tested again, and whole time they think they don't have any STD, when in reality their body might be deteriorating on the inside but they haven't shown any symptoms. Or we might have girls who might go home pregnant thinking that because they took the contraceptive Plan B pill that they're not pregnant. They're safe from the consequences of their reckless sexual endeavors. Whole time they didn't even know that Plan Bs have a certain weight limit after which they become less effective. Like, I'm genuinely terrified by the prospects of all the horrible things that can stem from this Houston spring break. Because Houston's STD rates were already bad as is, excluding the spring break event. So I can't even begin to fathom the aftermath of this spring break event.
In honor of spring break and all y'all going to Houston, I'm going to tell y'all what the STD rate has been from 2025 to 2026 in case you decided to go out there and hunch. Syphilis has surged all the way up to 79% in the year 2025 leading into 2026. HIV has surged and increased in 17%. Gonorrhea, chlamydia has surged 32%. And the ages are from 15 to 24 years old with that. All the hot spots where they're saying like the main sources of these STDs are coming from: Montrose, downtown, OST, South Union area. The demographic is Black people, Hispanics, whites, ranging from the ages 15 to 35.
With that being said though, if you made this far, I appreciate you for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and please subscribe to my reaction channel 4D Shams Live. It'll be linked below. Also show love to my Twitch. I'll be dual streaming on there and on YouTube at the same time. And last but not least, make sure you follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with my life. Appreciate y'all for watching. 4D Shams, 4D World. I'm out. Love y'all.